What if the most powerful stories the world needs to hear are the ones you've never been told? Stay tuned. This conversation may not just be entertaining, but it might also unblock the storyteller in you.
You are watching Influence Media, PSI TV, the Netflix of biz brands.
Today on PSI TV, meet the woman on a mission to bring hidden her stories to light. From middle school girls to unsung women of history, Fran Powers uses the stage to empower, inspire, and spark change. Today's guest is Fran Powers. She's an award-winning theater professional, playwright, and founder of Powerstories Theater in Tampa, Florida. For 25 years, her nonprofit has empowered women and girls to share their authentic stories on stage, inspiring audiences and opening hearts. Fran's work has earned national recognition, including an award from First Lady Michelle Obama. This year, Powerstories celebrates its silver anniversary with Hidden Her Stories, a season spotlighting remarkable but often overlooked women in history. So let's welcome the passionate storyteller and change maker behind it all, Fran Powers.
Yay! I'm happy to be here.
All right, Fran. So I know Powerstories, I think, is a play on your name, but I really loved it. It's such a compelling name. What does this mean to you for the business to be named that? And what, in your estimation, makes a story powerful?
Well, the kind of almost the same answer. If a story is validating our experiences, building bridges so that we are one humanity, if they're binding us together, then it's powerful. And so I took my last name, Powers, and my love of stories so that I could help people tell very transformative power stories.
I love that you said very transformative power stories, because there are stories that are just entertaining, and that's their entire value. And then there are stories that are transformative, and those are a little bit different. They're not just entertaining, they do trigger some kind of transformation in someone. So that's great. So, Fran, you offer a range of programs from theatrical performances to youth storytelling. What are some current or upcoming initiatives that you are most excited about?
Brand new program that we're offering right now is something called Beyond the Story. This is a new educational division for Powerstories, where we are hiring expert speakers to come in and give lectures about the theme of the shows that we're doing. We're doing Witch Hunt right now about the Salem witch trials. So just last night in our studio, we had an expert speaker come in and talk about that time in our history. That way, when people come to see the show, they have a much better idea of all the layering of things that were happening during that time. That's just one of the things that we have that's new.
What else are you more excited about then?
Well, we used to do a lot of storytelling workshops. Kind of let that go by the wayside just because of resources. But what's happening in our world right now and our need for women to stand up and use their voice even more, we're getting back into helping women share their stories on stage in a very powerful, transformative way. There's that word again. The stories that we help women tell are those deep stories that they really want to share with an audience to help the audience grow and to help them grow too.
I want to reinforce the fact that the women voices are really not out there, because in my media experience, first of all, women in media, we're a handful, and the few that are there is the blonde, slim anchor women, and they're so. And then of my audience on TV, 67% are male. I'm like, where are the ladies? You guys have stories. Come on, speak up. Speak up. There is space for you. There is space for you. So,
that's
Fran,
what drove me to start this years ago.
Yeah.
Is that women kept saying to me, I don't have a story to tell. My life is, there's nothing special about my life, which drove me crazy because our lives are so rich and other women need to hear about our lives because it's likely something that they need to grow.
Mm-hmm. So in this digital entertainment world, what strategies have helped keep the in-person theater experience vibrant for the past 25 years?
Well, because of the pandemic, we did a lot of digital programming, and we have carried that forward in addition to our live performing. I think things have just really changed in the last 5 years. It becomes a little bit more of a challenge to get that live person into the theater
Mm.
because there's so much available to them online and on Zoom. We're really doing both. We do performances a lot of times that will allow us to do the live streaming, and then we continue to do the live streaming of the live performances because a lot of people are homebound and they still want to see those performing. So we're doing both.
Okay, so the hybrid method is definitely a strong movement, so that's good.
It is. It
And
is. It's
there
working.
are some people who do want the in-person experience. They want to go out on the town, get dressed up, and go somewhere nice. So yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
And we love that.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So Fran, can you share a moment when you knew Power Stories was making a difference?
In the very beginning, 25 years ago, we did our very first show called Let the Stories Move You. They were 7 women. I helped them tell their stories. We put a play on about those stories with new creative music. And the reaction from the audience was just stunning to me because so many women came up to me afterwards and said, the magic words to me is, I have a story to share. Now, they didn't want to be on stage in a big production, but it triggered in them that they had a story that they wanted to share. So, in the very beginning, I got that sense from women that they really needed it. And then with young girls, I see the growth in the young girls that we serve. We serve a lot of middle school girls. And just last night, I had one come to one of our events. She's now in high school. And her mother said she would have never been in government leadership if it hadn't been for your program. She found her voice. And I started hearing that years ago from the parents, the changes that they see in their daughters.
Yes, the ability to go on stage in a safe environment and build up the the calluses we kind of need to put
Yeah,
ourselves
you need
out
that
there.
courage. It's
Yeah,
scary being on stage, and
it
and
is.
it's scary telling your own story.
It
Very
is.
different from portraying a character on stage. It's scarier to tell your own story.
It is. It is. And I deal with that all the time, even right here, because some of my guests are still camera shy, still hesitant to be authentic. They say what they think others will receive or want to
Right,
hear. To
right.
pull out
Yeah.
that authenticity is, if you're getting it done, and that's amazing, because I'm sure there should be some healing in telling those stories too.
Well, we asked the women to tell stories that are not coming from the wound, but are coming from
Mm.
the scar. So they're things that they've gone through, that's caused them a lot of pain, but now they're at that point where they can share it. So it has to have a resolution to it in order for it to be a power story. Otherwise, the audience is going to know that. The
Mhm.
audience is going to feel the pain and they're going to feel like they have to help you, the
Mm.
storyteller. That's not what we want. We want the storyteller to help the audience. So the
And
stories have to have a clear message and have to have some resolution to them.
and that's where the transformation is coming from,
It
because
is.
if someone is watching that story and can resonate with it and see that someone's experienced it and overcome it, yes, I can see it as clear as day.
Bingo. You got it.
There we go.
Absolutely.
So Fran, you got the attention and an award from First Lady Michelle Obama. How did you pull that off? How did that
Well,
happen?
I had a board member, Dan Bates, who we were pretty new at that time, and she found out about this and she said, you should apply for this. I immediately said, oh no, we're too new. It's such a wrong thing to say. And she said, come on, have more faith in yourself. I applied, didn't get it. But I applied again the second year, and only 15 groups around the nation get that award. And so I had the backing of a board member, another woman who kind of pushed me when I was a little timid. And oh my goodness, was it ever life changing? It was such a phenomenal experience. The validation that we received. Getting validation is just is such a strong thing to receive because it inspires you and keeps you going. So we had the validation of someone of that caliber. I mean, the First Lady, Michelle Obama, and her team just really wanted to say thank you. You're important. What you're doing counts. keep working on it. And that was the most important piece.
But what you said, you started with there was a board member who encouraged you. So what I'm hearing is this cycle of women empowering women, supporting and encouraging women. It's just a series that your environment is encouraging right along
We
the
have
way.
to. We have to, because sometimes you're not the one who's inspiring. Somebody else needs to inspire you. And so it has to keep moving back and forth. Absolutely, it has to.
So for those watching who feel inspired, how can they support Power Stories?
We have a website, powerstories.com, and there's all kinds of information on there. So you can volunteer with our organization if you're in the Tampa Bay area. Of course, we need donations, so you're welcome to do that. And you can share your story online and send it to us, because we have a program called Speaking for Your Lives Online. And so if somebody has a story they want to share, they can share it and we will put those online. So it's all kinds of different ways. If you want to help with your story, if you want to help with some few dollars, there's ways to get involved.
So I want to point out that Power Stories is a nonprofit 501c.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So when she says, just to volunteer or support, this is an organization that is recognized at the highest level now for really making an impact in their space. So feel free to donate, feel free to volunteer. You're encouraged to, for sure.
Oh yeah, we need lots of help.
So Fran, is there anything else that you'd like to share?
Just in general, the arts are getting slammed a little bit. The federal government is cutting funding for them, and it's kind of trickling down. I want to really encourage those leaders out there that are running arts organizations to keep going, because everything goes in cycles. It might be a little bit difficult now, but in the next couple of years, it might be better. So the arts are just so important, and women and girls, men, we can grow from the arts. We need the culture. So I would just encourage these art leaders to keep going. We don't want to lose the arts.
Art is, yeah, you're right. When there's problems, that was one of the programs I noticed when I was in school. That was one of the first things they chopped, which is unfortunate. My son is an artist. My son plays the guitar. And so when he couldn't find it in school, I had to find alternative programs for him. And the thing about it is that art in all its forms really inspires even the business owners, because Steve Jobs was known for doing his that fancy writing. I don't remember what they call it. And it inspired the fonts that we now have on our computers.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Do not think that the arts and the creative space has, not that much monetary value, therefore we want to cut it. But I want to say this. I did a show years ago with a lawyer, and the sad thing is that a lot of creatives are not making as much money as they could or should. So that's a story for another day. But the space, even if you are not financially getting all the money that you'd like out of your talent, still invest, still use it, still show up on stage, still share your story, because there is absolute value, and value is not only measured in dollars and cents. Value is also measured in transformations.
You got that.
Yeah. Yours as you develop as an artist and a creative, and the others who benefit from receiving and experiencing your art and your creatives. So
you need to be our spokesperson.
Oh my God, I got my own burdens, darling. I got my burdens. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Fran Powers, visit powerstories.com. Again, it is a local Tampa 501c organization. It is well deserving of your time as volunteers, as an audience member, or even to donate cash, kind, whatever they need. I'm sure you need stuff for the stage and all that kind of stuff.
Come and see a show. Come and see a show.
Come and see a show. There you go. So, Fran, it was great talking with you today.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I loved our conversation. Thank you so much.